I was like, man, we doing double up.
Right?
I think it was on loop by accident. Yeah, sorry about that.
I was like, let's go.
I was like, is my computer acting up again? Is this just on my end or what?
Glitch in the Matrix, man.
Deja vu.
The deja vu does happen when they change something. I changed something with my webcam and my mic. So.
So welcome to Spoiler Kings. So we got a bunch of stuff we're gonna talk about today. Kenobi, we're gonna do Miss Marvel, The Boys. We're gonna try to get some trailers in, depending. I mean, it's a total of 5 episodes we're gonna talk about between 3 different shows. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, anyone in chat, I need anyone in chat to comment on getting Tank to start Stranger Things. He needs to start. I already finished part 1. I need him to at least start it. I'm just saying he needs to see. He has to understand how epic this thing is. It's so good.
I got you.
Oh, I gave it a rewatch.
Oh, damn! Watch it twice before I even watch it.
I watched that twice. I think that is easily my.
Wow.
I don't know if it's my favorite season since season 1. It might be. It might even be my favorite season.
These battles are amazing. I mean, I saw what was happening towards episode 6, but oh my gosh, it's so good.
Don't feel
you haven't watched it either?
Because here's the thing, I'm pretty sure. Like, what have you not watched? The last season?
The season that's out right now.
Okay, all right, that's it, right? But you watched everything else?
Yeah.
Okay, see, you're at least closer on a. See, they're already in the country. I'm on a lonely island. You're on Alcatraz. I'm deep in the ocean out there. You're on Alcatraz.
You're like way out there
in prison to start watching the 4th season. I'm way the hell out there. I haven't even started watching any of these, so don't even feel bad. Don't even feel bad because I haven't watched any. And I know, I get heat for it all the time. But what are you gonna do?
It is a really good show, and I'm like, I do want to watch it. I do really, really want to watch it, and I'm gonna watch it soon.
Brian sells it so well. I'm like, I would not be surprised by the end of this summer. I probably finish all. I'll probably just binge watch all 4 seasons. I would guarantee you. So I think it was you who was saying once I start watching the first 4, I'm done, son. You're gonna be watching the rest of it. Yeah. So
yeah. Well, part 2 comes out. Part 2 of season 4 comes out in about a month. July. So I got some time to catch up. Yeah. July 1st.
July 1st.
Yeah. But I think season 5 for Stranger Things is the final season, right?
They did say it's going to be the final. They said it's going to be the final season, and I guess they're supposed to get another time jump, which at this point is probably the best thing they could do. Those kids are
all the kids are 20. All the kids are 20.
Yeah, they got to do a time jump. It's the only sensible thing.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's on my definitely on my to watch list kind of stuff. But like we talk about stuff and we get other people into it because I know me and Brian, we were hyping up The Boys when the trailer came out, and we were just saying how great it was, and Will never watched it, and we're like, dude, it's right up your alley, check it out. And like the next show he came on, he goes, him and his wife just started, and they were like, it's amazing. It's like so good. I was like, yeah. He's like, they binged like the first 2 seasons like super quick, and then they got it right before season 3 came out. So that probably the best for them.
To do. I'm scared to binge watch these shows because sometimes if they're really good, as much as you guys say they are, and if I'm off the next day, I would not be surprised if I stay up pulling all night or something like that. Like I've done that before. They're just so good. And I don't even realize. I looked it's up, already 3-4 in the morning. I got
no. You're sitting there. You turn around. You look up, and it's the sun. The sun's coming up.
What?
It's for the greater good. Sometimes it's for the greater good.
Yeah, if you're paying for it the next day, though, man. I don't know.
Dude, I did that with Severance. Like I watched it because I heard good things about it. And I'm like, well, I'll watch the first episode. So we sat down, we watched the first episode, and we're like, what the hell is this show? We wind up like binging it, and like next thing you know, it's like 1:00 in the morning on a Wednesday night or like Thursday night or something. We're like shit, we got to go to work the next day. So we watched everything except for the last episode, which is just the worst thing to do. And then the next day we watched the final episode.
Yep. No, that's actually pretty good because that means you're thinking about it that whole time. Like, you know what? I can't go to sleep. I can't go to sleep. I got to watch this anyway. Yeah. And then you go sleep and you sleep for 10 hours.
Yeah.
We did that with Game of Thrones. Yeah, and we caught up because it was like everyone was talking about like we need to watch this because everybody's talking about it every week, so we had to. But
that's exactly what we did too.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones until the second season, and I was like watching the first season. What the hell was I thinking?
Yeah.
I didn't really get into Game of Thrones until like it was almost over. And then I got into it when I was living out of the country. I had to download.
Oh man, that was good for you.
Wait.
Watch episode after episode after. It was nonstop for you.
Hey Brandon, where were you at though? Where were you at?
Oh, I was in South Korea. I taught ESL out there.
Oh, cool. Nice,
yeah,
man.
That's cool. Just so cool.
You were legit out of the country. I thought you were doing a reference to Martin's like thing.
Oh, he was legit in South Korea for a while, for a long time.
That is super cool, man.
Yeah, I spent about I thought I was going to do like 1 year just for the experience, and then 1 year turned into almost 4. So, yeah, it was probably the single best decision I've ever made.
Nice. Ever. That is super cool. Yeah, I want to go to South Korea.
If you ever get the chance to do it.
Yeah. Well, I watched my girlfriend watched so many vloggers that are in South Korea and Japan, and I've been wanting to go to Japan all my life. So, and now it's like South Korea to that list. But
I'd say go to Japan too. I did a lot of traveling throughout Asia when I was out there. So
nice, yeah, it's super easy. So real quick, so this is my beer koozie, my beer cozy, whatever you call it.
I have to know where you got that.
Chewy, that's cool, man. That's cool.
I find all the good shit at the Goodwills. I got this at the Goodwill for $1, brand new. I mean, obviously, I cleaned it up, cool, just in case. But it was, but I know you guys, Martin will like this one. So I got this one too. This is but it's for a bottle, right? So Chicago Bears, right? But then I found this one over the past weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the same thing. So,
that's cool, man.
I mean, that's what the Falcons do. They do exactly what the Bears do, just 3 years later.
Hey, we learn, I guess.
You just go like this, like
3 years later.
We were talking about that. We're like, ultimately, it's the Chicago Falcons versus Chicago Bears, which or Atlanta Bears we were calling
Atlanta Bears. Yeah.
Which Bear is gonna come out top? So that's yeah. Look, dude, it just happened.
What it is. I mean, think about it. You guys went to the Super Bowl 3 years after we went to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Everything that we do, you guys did do it 3 years afterwards.
So ultimately,
I can't even think about that.
As long as you guys go Super Bowl, I should be like, all right, look,
3 years we got it.
We should be around that time.
Yep.
Your time frame now.
We'll be there.
Good to know.
But I'm telling you, man.
Quarterback next year, man. You're getting your quarterback next year.
Yeah.
We'll see. But that was cool, man. I feel like we all have our own little memorabilia. If you missed it though, I had I don't know if you saw it, Brian. But I had my C-3PO shoes.
No.
Yeah. Those were sick, dude.
I had some C-3PO shoes. I don't know if I'm gonna do. Should I just show my video later? Or... But yeah, I have C-3PO shoes. They're all gold. Yeah, I'll look for the video right now. I'll look for the video.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. But
because I could pull them out right now and then redo the whole
thing.
The whole thing.
But that was super sick. But dude, I always find all the good shit at the Goodwill. I know. Oh shit, you can't see it because of the green screen.
Yeah,
but it's a Ninja Turtle tiki mug. Obviously, you can't see it.
Put it in front of you. Would it work in front of you?
It doesn't.
Oh no, because it's still green. My bad.
Green screen.
Sorry.
But that's what it is. It's pretty awesome.
Hell, it's not that. Like this is actually green, but it comes out silver. So I don't know why I thought that. My bad.
But
brain fart. Look, I've been streaming already for about an hour and a half. So
yeah,
exactly.
Been out for a while.
All right, let's get into this.
Get right into it.
Yeah.
All right. Let me. So I'm gonna do a little intro for each one since it's gonna be cut up anyway into little things. So if you're watching live, just stick around.
Yeah, bear with us.
Yeah. But cool. All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tank Kramer, and with, as always, Brian the Grizzly, and we got Brandon and Martin back with us again this week. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
All right.
Good, not too bad.
Yeah. So I got this thing here. All right, so right now we're gonna talk about the Kenobi episode 4 episode with spoilers and everything. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you go leave this tab open. Go check out that. Come back here and leave a comment. We want to know what you guys thought. If you're hanging out with us live, make sure you join us in chat. But also, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button.
Yes.
But yeah, let's jump right into it with some initial thoughts and or feelings for Kenobi episode 4. We'll start off with Brandon. What you got on it? Yeah.
I'd say it's probably so far it's probably one of my more favorite episodes. It might even be my favorite episode. I liked that. It's nice to see Obi-Wan finally getting his shit back together.
Thank God.
Getting his groove back.
Actually being able to use the Force, put his lightsaber skills to use a little bit more this time. I liked I liked the subplot between Leia and Reva. I'm kind of starting to. They're kind of hinting at a little more backstory to Reva. I think she might even garner a little sympathy from me, depending on what happens, and kind of like with some of the things that they hinted at through dialogue and that sort of thing. But I really
hand off.
Oh, what's that?
She shot someone's arm off, just an innocent bystander. No,
she did. She totally did, and that was just plain cold. Oh yeah, she really didn't have to do it. But I'm kind of interested just to see more of her. I'm kind of finding her a little more interesting in terms of a potential backstory that they hinted at through like some of the things that she was saying to Leia and that sort of thing. So we'll see. I liked that she was kind of the primary protagonist of this episode rather than Darth Vader. He was kind of relegated to the background, and obviously the very end, the tail end of the episode. But I really liked this one. I liked how kind of contained and just relegated to one place that it was, which was that ship.
Yeah,
cool.
Awesome.
I like stories like that. Yeah.
Like I know there's other like Rogue One where it's just like you're here now, you're here. That's cool, but it could be a little much at times where this was just like you're on this badass looking ship kind of planet thingy, but I forgot what it's called.
The water.
It was
Newark.
Yeah. In terms of scope, it was definitely smaller in scope than a couple of the previous episodes, and it was nice to see Ice Cube Jr. in something Star Wars related.
Yeah,
I knew that he was cast in this show. They just didn't say who he was playing, so that was cool.
No.
Yeah. But what about you, Martin? What's your initial thoughts?
I predicted right. I'd say two weeks ago. I said it would not surprise me if we get into more details. And then when we asked what did we want, I'm like, I think, and here's what I want. Give us a little bit more Reva. Give us a little bit more Reva. I think we need to know what's her story, why she has this hatred towards Kenobi. I said this week 1 of the first 2 episodes. I'm like, look, there's got to be something here that they're not telling us. And I have a feeling in the next couple of episodes, we're going to deep dive into that. And they're doing that right now. And she's still clearly... she now the exchange between her and Leia, she's like, they took something from me. So that was a big impact. I'm like, oh, all right. Like now she's opening up and to Princess Leia here, who's 10 years old, which still one of the she's really good
star
job, man. Like
she's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that whole scene right there. That whole scene, you could already see that Leia has the Force within. Right
exactly
there.
What I was going to say. That's exactly. And Leia is force sensitive because Reva is using the force trying to draw it out of her, and Leia's able to resist her. And it's amazing that you see that at 10 years old that she was already force sensitive, and no one ever talks about that.
Are we done having a staring eye contest or what?
Yeah.
and then you could tell she stopped. She was fighting it, but she said, "Are we done having the staring eye contest?" I love that. That was so. Oh man, that was great. And in the scene just before that, and I don't know how much in depth you guys know with Darth Maul's or Darth Vader's series, but there was my bad. There was a series there where on the planet, what is it? Mustafar, his fortress, I guess, on Nuar, I guess is that moon that's on there. That scene where they have the fortress of the Inquisitors, the second sister ran that. That's her like collection of people. And from what I know, they are not dead. So what she did is she brought them there. She would typically try to change them to the dark side. Of course, usually never really worked, but every now and then there would be one or two. And that was very, very cool to me to see that. And a lot of people probably don't know that. They just saw like tombs of people and young Padawans and everything. Other Jedis there as well. So it was really interesting to see all those prisoners in like, whatever they were in.
Corpses, really. They're in that because they're dead. In that fluid, or not fluid, in that hard casing that they were in.
Yeah. So but it's kind of like what's his Han Solo went through. So just a different type of substance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't think they were dead. I thought they were like
suspended
or whatever.
In the comics, and from what I remember, it was that was the second sister's like tomb or whatever that she would try and bring back. It was I can't really remember, but I saw that. I was like, that's cool. So we don't really get to see the second sister, but we know she's there, and that right there kind of like sparked up. Oh, hey, they brought her main job. So I thought that was kind of cool, but
I could be wrong, but I think the second sister is in Fallen Order, the video game, that the Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay.
I believe she's one of the main villains in that game. I believe it was the second sister. I was trying to look it up, but
I forgot all about Fallen Order, by the way.
Yeah, it's such a good game, and I hope like they bring in the actual guy, eventually, into it somehow. But in live action, that would be super cool. But that's I haven't read all the comics with stuff like that, but I know they do get a lot deeper into the Inquisitors in the comics.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It was interesting because the one Jedi I recognized was the very first one, really pale, skinny. Torso kind of looked like a dog and had dreads over. That was Tara Sanu, I think, or Tara something. I can't. But he was. I mean, not really. I think he might be in the animated series or something like that. I can't remember. Again, I haven't. Yeah, but I remember this as a kid. Look, and that's all I had. When we go to the Coinless Laundry, there was a comic book store right next door. Hey, man, I'm going over. When I was a kid, it was different times. Like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead. Give me a couple dollars. I come back with freaking Star Wars comics. I look like a weird kid in the corner. I really was. But this is how I remember all this, man. It's crazy. Years later, that all this is just bam right here, literally on your TV. I was like, damn, this is nuts.
I could probably pick up more Star Wars comics. I haven't read hang on 1 second. Drop it, pen. I haven't read terribly many Star Wars comics, so maybe that'll be like something I start to play catch up on.
It's different.
And the books, I mean, the graphic novels are really good. Yeah,
the books are
the books.
Yeah, the books are good. The comics, even some of the newer comics, try to explain a lot of the prequels, or not prequels, the sequels. I'm sorry. They try to explain it, and it doesn't quite make sense still?
Because it didn't make sense for anyone. No one can explain.
Yeah.
You can't explain something that doesn't make sense. You just can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like Vader knows about was it estragol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vader knew about it, so I was like, why? Like, I don't know. But that's neither here or there. But that's pretty cool. What you thinking, Brian? How'd you like it?
I mean, these guys really covered up a lot of it. That was really good. Oh, me and you, Derpy, we will talk about this later. But no, this episode I thought was really good. I mean, just the idea of Leia being force sensitive that young. And I thought it was actually interesting that Reva seemed like she knew that was going on. She could feel that she was fighting her, yet she didn't say anything. So that I feel like she sees Leia as like a kindred spirit almost like. So I thought that picked up on that. So I'm thinking this story behind Reva is going to be very similar to Leia. You know, someone picking her up from her family, taking her away, stuff like that. I think that's going to come up later. Also, I mean, just Kenobi, seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi doing something with the Force was great because I was tired of him being Ben. And you know, this whole episode, no one really called him Ben. Finally, you know, everyone called him Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know,
took a lot.
Or Commander Kenobi or whatever, General Kenobi. That's what they were talking.
Yeah, they called him General.
They called him General
Kenobi.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying. That those are things that I loved hearing throughout the whole show. The characters were great. I thought it was like how you're in the plane and get killed by someone throwing a bomb at you. I thought that was kind of weird.
Oh, at the end.
Oh yeah.
It was like there's no
Poor
radar detection.
Poor Wade.
What the Wade? Like, what?
Wade. Have you seen them? There's memes already about that dude already. Like I miss Wade already.
The internet never fails when it comes to that sort of thing. Wade brought that on himself. He was taking his sweet ass time.
He was taking forever. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Where's going on?
Wade has no one to blame for that but Wade.
I thought we were going to see something with the Master and the Grand Inquisitor. I really thought that we were going to see something like that, and we did not. And I'm thinking that's what's going to happen in the next couple of last two episodes. That you're going to see the Grand Inquisitor, even being in one of those back to tanks, because apparently everyone has those. They're just on every place. Everyone has one just sitting around. It's just weird. Like it was like in every place they're like Obi-Wan
in every house.
They were looking at Anakin. Oh, they're both in the tank. Oh yeah, come on. Every planet has one every month. Like it's just like time for the back.
That was kind of cool. Like in the beginning when they put Kenobi and Vader are both in the tanks, and it's like are they doing that like vision talk kind of thing?
Yeah,
they could like talking or connecting with that. I thought that was such a cool scene, right off the bat, like both of them in the tanks and they're both kind of reliving this, and it cuts to like his arm and then his arm or no arm, I guess. But that was super cool. I mean, granted, like you said, everyone has one. I think even me and my girlfriend were like, is it just like a toilet? Like, is this like a
bathtub? Is this what this is?
It's just
this is this grand like technology. It's just like a bathtub for everybody.
Yeah, like giving up on Disney Star Wars. Don't give up, man. It's episode 3 was really good. Episode 4 was even better.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going towards more than what we thought. These leaks weren't enough to really encapsulate what this whole series really is, and I'm loving the journey. As I said before, the journey means something, and now I'm enjoying that part of it. Yeah. And I'm happy.
Real quick with the leaks. It just came out that the person who leaked the leaks is saying, "Oh, they're changing the story." So I was like, "So you're saying you were wrong?" Like
exactly.
You're saying the shit that everyone lost their mind over because you thought this was gonna happen, and now you're like, "Oh, well, I heard, now the new thing is that Disney said they're gonna change the end because blah blah blah." I was like, "Dude, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong."
I mean, if Disney has a brain, they would film three separate endings. and then and put whatever one they want at the end. They decide at the end.
Where you guys find these people, man? They just hate on you guys, man.
2005. I
would say it ended a lot longer than that.
It ended at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Exactly. Was that 86 or something like that? That's what I was.
Because I'm not a fan of the prequels, but I'm enjoying all the spin-offs that are being made from the prequels.
That's exactly it. I do not like the prequels, but I'm enjoying everything we're getting as far as Star Wars knowledge and all this new stuff is coming from it. So I'm learned to accept the prequels for who they are and what they are, and just enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah. Episode 1 was probably one of my favorites.
I think out of the
pod racing.
I think I hate that one.
Darth Maul, pod racing.
I love Darth Maul.
Okay,
Darth Maul show,
but the pod racing, you can't say that wasn't cool as hell.
It wasn't that cool as hell.
I thought it was, man.
No, because it's what we already.
It was different, man. Like
the video game made on the based on the pod racing was
I watched that in theaters. Yeah. It was pretty cool, man. Like
So you like when little Anakin is like, now that's pod racing. you like that part? That's a good.
I like the race itself. The race itself was cool as hell, and you had the damn sand people shooting them down, like all kinds of elements that they had to just get rid of them. It was just they were just dirty drivers like that. That was some crazy driving.
Now this is pod racing,
and I understand it's a movie and it's all fictional, but it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. I enjoyed it. And
Martin, you're what, 31? 32? 5-year difference.
Where you going with this, man?
I mean,
I'm just trying to see because if you're older than I was thinking. If you're 30, I could see because we'll be like 7 years apart. I could see the difference in because you'll be that much younger when you first saw the episodes, but you're not really that much younger. So 5 years.
I liked it, man. It was good. It was different. And I was like, okay, you don't have dumb Ben and Vader just kind of slashing at each other slow as hell. You had jumping and throwing and all kinds of crazy shit.
No, Darth Maul.
And it was nuts. It was. You could see them. Darth Maul was using the Force, throwing crap at him, opening up doors with objects and shit. Like
but see, that's another thing. I didn't like how they treated Darth Maul. Darth Maul should have been a villain for
the Battle of Naboo. It
should have been longer. Darth Maul should have been around a lot longer, and that's what I'm saying. He was one of the coolest.
I agree.
That's why they brought him back.
But that's why you needed more of those prequels, like having him as the main villain. He was that cool.
And then
the second one, the episode 2, I really was like, that's bad.
That was
I think episode 3 was my favorite of the prequels. I thought there were a lot of
chosen one.
Which is the best. I think I would just say that part. The ending.
I gotta get my background for that one.
There you go. But like I say, overall, I don't like the prequels. There you go.
I forgot about that. I forgot about. I made this one. I made this specific for this. For the last
one. But the prequels, every movie had parts that I liked, Yeah. But overall, they weren't good. I don't. To me, they weren't good. But they definitely had parts.
Yeah, they were.
I thought the fighting was good.
Yeah, we're saying not good, but you're comparing them to other Star Wars information. That's what it is. I mean, I think it's good for just a regular movie. I
don't know if we're gonna be talking. I already said I don't think that Golden Knight game is gonna do good. I know we already talked about it on Sunday. I don't think because no one cares about it. No one remembered Pierce Brosnan as they're like, why is this guy 007? But I'm gonna play it because I played the shit out of that game.
Yeah, they're remaking GoldenEye.
They confirmed it.
Same thing and everything.
Yeah,
like the game, like exactly the same everything.
Yep.
Why would they do that?
Because it was great, but it was the first person shooter really to do it. But they've changed the technology; it's going up now. So I don't know. It's not the same thing.
Those weapons aren't the same.
I lost so many friendships to that game.
So many arguments.
Go home,
right,
Brandon.
Let's stay on track.
Yeah. Let's
like an argument that
actually
happened. Yeah. Let's say.
All right. So
yeah, because we went way off with the prequels and shit like that.
Any likes you guys have? Anything you really liked about this episode that besides
the tomb of the second sister's little prison
sense.
there?
That makes sense.
Little trophy room.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
that was cool actually, to be honest. And the interrogation between Reva and Princess Leia, that's probably awesome. Yeah.
Okay, but then what's something that you didn't like about this episode?
Okay. Here's what I didn't like, and it made no freaking sense. If I'm running down a tunnel and there's water right behind me and I shut the door, shouldn't be a little bit of splash on the bottom of my feet?
I said that.
Where was my water?
The back of his robes aren't even
nothing's wet.
Dry. The floor was dry. The only thing was happening was a leak right up on the seam of the door. I'm like, where's my water? Like, there should be water at their feet just splashing in. I would have been okay with that. At least a bucket, some dude on the side making the movie or making the, where's my bucket man? Just throw the bucket of water at their feet and it would look more realistic. But no. And then you look back, the whole room, the whole tunnel's flooded.
No, he has not dropped no drop of water on him at all.
Nothing.
No. It made no sense to me, but other than that, though, it was a cool scene. Like the Force he had to use it, like it was do or die, Cremini stuff, because it was like he had to. But it was interesting to see that part. But that was the one part I felt was more stupid than Reva chucking a damn freaking battery
case of missiles.
Yeah,
was it a battery?
Stupid Wade.
Oh, what about you, Brandon? What's stuff that you didn't like about this one?
I'd say there were parts where it kind of dragged, especially with what was the character's name who was impersonating the
Tala?
Taylor. Yeah, it was like how convenient that she managed to stall Reva like as she was about to torture Leia. Like it seemed a little too convenient. I'm happy it happened because that little girl's so adorable. I couldn't bear to see anything bad happen to her. But it just kind of seemed a little too cliche in terms of the timing. Like right as she's about to hit the button, she's able to cause this distraction. I'd say that is what really kind of got me, and I kind of saw something coming with the tracking device and it ended up being Lola. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with that, but on one hand, it kind of works just due to Leia's attachment to Lola. So I'd say I'm kind of neutral about that one. I'd say I don't think it's anything that I dislike. It's just kind of I'm gonna have to wait and see until the next episode or give this one a rewatch to kind of formulate thoughts on that.
Yeah, I just felt like it was just a plot point that needed to happen. And I was like, because So yeah, I was there with you with that one. I was like, really, they're gonna make her little buddy evil? I guess. I don't know. But
I don't know. I think all Taya's
what you got.
Her timing was just crazy. I mean, like someone says, "Hey, come with me," and they walk back to the back, and she's able to put him to sleep. Go to sleep, and then comes back and gets right back up. No one hears the microphone. The guy next to her,
like 5 feet away.
It's like I don't hear nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. That just made no sense at all. But whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it. And then Leia's. I said Reva blowing up an airplane by throwing with the Force a bomb at it. Like it's what? Like what? That just made no sense at all to me. And then what's the last thing was Lola. So no one thought that she was with Reva all that time and to check all their stuff.
Yeah.
Like just check everything. Like, you know, we already know how important androids and bots are in this time period. Why wouldn't you check all of it? Like, you would think that she'll put some type of tracking device, so you're not giving up the entire farm. You know, if you're going back to the main place, why are you going to give up everyone? Why wouldn't you check everything? I would take off all the new clothes. Let's start all over. Strip everything. Let's get rid of everything so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Overall, I was pretty happy with this episode, though. Sorry, I think something went on with my camera, like really briefly.
You're good.
But
there was more stupid parts about this episode, though. I could bring up.
Well, we gotta get Tank a chance. He didn't even say anything.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. There's another part that made no sense to me either.
I wonder where the part that I was like, how long was he in the tank for? Because it made it seem like he was in there for like 5 minutes, and then he's like, "Dude, you were burnt,
not very long,
burnt." Like, and it made it seem like he was just barely in there. So yeah, that's why I was like, okay, I don't know. That was kind of a little weird for me, you know. But yeah, I guess. But besides that, you know, and then obviously the water thing was kind of like funny. Yeah, I thought it was kind of. Whenever stuff like that happens, I'm reminded of what somebody said. Like, it was jokingly, but he's kind of half true. He's like, whenever there's something you can't explain in Star Wars, it's the Force. Like they used to throw that in. Like, he used the Force to keep the water off him. I'm like, okay, you know, it's like, you can always just throw that in everything, you know. So like anything unexplainable, the Force.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the ultimate plot device.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Because I mean, even in the prequels, in the first one, they do the quick running down the hall, but then when Obi-Wan needs to get through the doors really quick, like he could barely, you know, jog, you know. So it's like, wait, what happened to the lightning running you were doing? He was like, oh no, it's the Force.
Wasn't that like that's almost like the only time we've seen that run in episode 1, right?
Yeah, I mean the jumping you've seen a lot. Even in the original ones, you saw the little, you know, force jump kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, the quick run, that was the only time ever, which was funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah. I'm surprised nobody brought this up. But I mean, before I get to that, I will. Brian just reminded me of how lucky are they to have Taya there? Like, her timing on all these episodes are just immaculate. The very first time they met her, they're about to die and get blasted by stormtroopers, and she just shows up randomly, shoots them all, saves them.
She's always at the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
Darth Vader's
Kenobi's about to get roasted like a freaking chicken, and she just comes up out of nowhere and saves the day again. Like, what's going on here? Like, how do you know where to put this woman at same place, same time?
All the time.
Every time.
All the time.
And hey, I need distraction. Like, I thought the next scene was she was going to blast the control room or cause havoc in the control room. But no, she somehow got another officer to go distract Reva, who Reva would be like, who are you to tell me what I'm about to do right now? Get out of here. So... but here's what I'm surprised you guys nobody brought this up. Are you guys familiar with Rick and Morty?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. Do you remember they used to watch this crazy show with the agent and baby legs?
Oh yeah.
Tell me where they didn't see baby legs under Kenobi's coat while they're walking through everybody. Yeah. Nobody saw baby legs. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, nobody.
This big tumor on the side of his body. Yeah,
it made no sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
That was funny. I mean, it's an old dirty man with a messed up hair and beard, and it was a giant thing on the side of his inside of his coat. I did that. Like, that was funny.
Hey, you see, Alyssa? Come on, Marge. Chris is old, but not that old. Old dirty man.
What?
You see what she said?
Before, Like,
Tank was born before the creator of Rick and Morty was even thought of.
No. Like, well, hey, not everybody watches it. Not everybody.
No, he's saying we're old boomers.
Yeah. I didn't see. Listen, you're starting to put stuff. Look, no, I'm just saying maybe somebody doesn't watch it. All right. I didn't say anything about age. You're putting fighting words into this conversation that don't need to be. And Alyssa does this. But we still like her. But yeah, no, it made no sense. The water made no sense. The battery destroying a whole shit. In all honesty, that battery should just bounced off and just put it up.
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense. I was like, what the fuck?
Crate full of missiles. It blew up stupid Wade. And the water, baby legs, none of it. Like, I'm like,
baby legs.
How?
Oh, that's funny. Oh, but what did you think about it? How you rate it? Like this episode?
Oh man. How did I rate it? You guys are way higher on this episode than I am. Look. Okay. Are we doing now and laters about this episode? Is that what we're doing?
Because tell me if you liked it or not. I mean, because we don't have to rate until the series.
Not as great as the other one. No. I did like the two. That was nostalgic for me but that was it. I felt like it wasn't as great as what you guys are rating it. I felt like they could have done a little bit better. I don't know. It was just some of it. No, it needed to happen, but it happened all in one episode. Like, ultimately, Reva just failed, almost died. Had she not done that to what, Lulu? So yeah, Martin killed him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead. Martin killed him. Now and later, so good. Top 10 candy. Hey, I don't know about that. Alyssa, I don't know if you've just come back in October, and we'll do the whole candy thing. Like, if you're still watching us and you're not sick of us yet in October, by the way, now that she brought up candy, I'm putting in a rule this far in advance. Snickers is off the board. I don't care. Everybody likes Snickers.
That's everyone's number one.
That makes that draft a lot better. Brian won because of that, and I lost a stupid milk duds. I'm still sour about that. I know I'll never let that go. Never let that go.
And we get into that. I love
me. I'm more of a Reese's guy.
Reese's is that's my favorite. Yeah. So we'll get into that candy one. That was fun. We'll definitely get into that. Yeah. Let's talk about Brandon. He's moving again. Yeah. So we were able to hear you. Your mic was frozen for some reason.
I get jump scared. Yeah, we don't do jump scares here. We don't have that capabilities or skills to scare people.
All right, Brandon. So how did you rate the episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
Oh, I liked it.
Better than episode 3?
Yeah. Yes. I'd say so.
Wow.
Okay.
I think the thing that really made the episode 3 for me was the
Darth Vader,
the Obi-Wan and Vader encounter.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it really kept me invested from beginning to end.
It's interesting.
Very
interesting.
Yeah.
What about you, Ted?
I would give it a higher. I liked this one better than the last one, although the last one was really great because of Vader. Vader made it great, but also Vader like walking down that hall and then choking Reva like as soon as the doors open. Like, that was pretty badass. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Like, didn't even let her get a chance to talk. He's like, "You stupid dummy."
I want you.
Choking her.
I want you.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of how badass Vader was, but the last episode made Vader evil, like legit evil. Like,
that's what I loved about it. This is why I think that one's better than this one. But
yeah,
you guys feel
but
different.
I think as a story, I like this one because it's the episode that Kenobi got his groove back. You know, it's
exactly.
That's what I was waiting for, because I knew Vader was already messed up and a bad guy. The last episode just proved like to a lot of the fanboys, they're like, "Oh no, Vader's just misunderstood. Anakin just misunderstood." It's like, no, he's a badass. It's a messed up shit. he killed a son and a father like back to back.
There's a reason this guy is like the scourge of the galaxy.
yeah. So, but in this one, I like that. Like, we need to somehow he needs to get his groove back, and I think this was it. You know, like almost dying, really knowing he needs to protect Leia and how much she means to him and the universe. You know, I think he understands, like, hey, it's Luke isn't the only one, and they said that a few times even in the original trilogy. So, you know, and even to make Leia even more badass in the sequels, you know, when Luke is training her, you know, you got to show off that, you know, she does have some natural powers, you know. So
yeah,
because there's a whole argument that Leia is stronger than Luke. This Luke was picked because he was a boy. That was it. That's the only reason. So
she's more force sensitive right now. You can tell that.
Yeah. I mean, sticking up to like an Inquisitor, like playing a mental game with no training, just being a stubborn little girl, Skywalker. Hey, you know, So
being the little girl, trust me, as a father of little girls, being a little girl makes you a master manipulator. Master. You know, I'm telling you, like I learn stuff every day. Man, how does she know how to do that? She's 5. It was just like,
who taught her that?
Like, man, I had the belt ready, and she just kissed me, and she held my hand slowly, and I was like, I don't know what this is in my hand for. I threw it down. I picked her up. I gave her candy. I don't know how she did.
Is it like Moon Knight? Like you're ready to do something that's blacked out, and then next minute you're like on the couch, like sitting.
Why am I giving her candy? Feeding her grapes? That doesn't make any sense. I liked this
what about you, man?
episode though. I thought this episode was had less plot holes. And we just talked about plot holes, it had less than episode 3. Episode 3 had too many. That's why I didn't understand. Like, the best part of episode 3 was Vader being badass, but at least he kicked Obi-Wan's ass. So it was cool. It was cool seeing Vader, but it wasn't like a two-way fight. This one was like, was it the Jedi strike back? You know, you bounce back. It's he's finally getting his groove back and actually see that we're setting up a good fight now. And that's why I think I enjoyed this one, because of episode 3, then 4. So I'm enjoying 4 more because episode 3. And I think I'm going to enjoy episode 5 more because of episode 4. And I think that's what you really want in a series. So
yeah, that's actually probably the best way to explain it, is like each episode builds on top of the last episode, which is what you want, which is how it should be. So, which is good storytelling, in my opinion.
Yeah, it should be on an upward trajectory.
Yeah.
So I think we all liked it, but I think the 3 of us liked it a little bit more than Martin.
I'll agree with it. It wasn't like, I don't know. I felt like we were all anticipating Vader to show, and he showed us a much darker side than what we all expected. Like, obviously, he's one of the coolest bad guys out there in universe. Over, you name any type of bad guy,
the coolest bad guy ever.
And like, look, I don't care what you say about anybody else. Like, he is like the face of evil, basically, in anything. Like, it's just crazy how much of a darker side they brought him. Here's what I do want to see, and he's been in every episode. Why hasn't the 5th brother done
anything?
Or even the other sister? Like, the other sister is just following. She's just a shadow at this point.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man! Like, give me a little fight between him and Reva or something. But it's just like he just kind of like grunts and he's mad about it. I'm like, well, punch her in the face or something, dude. Like, she's about to take your job because the Grand Inquisitor's dead. When I put quotes, because we don't really know if he is. People saying he is, some people saying he's not. But I think we're all on the fence of that he's not. But
you never know. Star Wars can always change your mind.
Yeah.
All right, we got 60 seconds each. What do we think is going to happen in the next episode?
Yeah.
I'll use what I just said as that.
Okay, go ahead, Brandon.
5th brother.
Obviously, something's going to happen with Lola. They're going to get swarmed by Reva, whoever else she brings with her. Obi-Wan's probably going to have to step his game up even more than he did in this episode in terms of his in terms of the Force, his lightsaber skills. Like I said, he was a little rusty, but he's stepping his game up. And at this point, maybe another Vader and Obi-Wan encounter, maybe.
For sure.
Oh no, yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hank, what you got?
Yeah. I mean, I gotta see them fight one more time, Vader and Obi-Wan kind of like showing him like, oh yeah, last time you fought me, but I was kind of like not in it. Now I'm gonna show you, because he started doing the twirling again and stuff like that, showing off like, hey, he's the master. So they're gonna fight, and I think Obi-Wan's gonna show him what's up. Like, hey, yeah, you might be the badass, but I'm still the master here. So yeah, I kind of want to see what real quick. I kind of want to see what is behind Martin, and I want to see the high ground kind of quote again. If they do that, if they pull that off, that would be the best, funniest thing ever. Like, that's legit them trolling themselves, which is so good. If they find a way to, like, he gets the high ground, he goes, I got the high ground, and then it just pisses off Vader even more. It's like, fuck off. So yeah, that's what I want.
That sounds awesome. But what if they did that, but instead of Vader, it's with Reva? So that's what I was gonna say. I think Obi-Wan and Reva are going to get into a battle, and Obi-Wan's going to start getting his groove back, and he's going to whoop her butt. But I think it's going to be once again, like, I think Vader might even see them fighting, and once again, Obi-Wan has the high ground, and Reva tries something and gets struck down, and he just like shakes his head. Like, Vader's just like, man,
I've been there.
Just
I don't know how that feels.
Just have the camera linger on Vader and maybe like his breathing get like a little bit more intense.
Yeah, like a big old deflate. Just.
But I also think we'll get a lot more of Reva's backstory. That's what's going to really. She's going to find him, and she's going to start, get there. He's going to fight her, of course, whatever. But we're going to get a lot more of her backstory, because she's going to explain why she hates him so much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then that's why I think her and Obi-Wan will start fighting, and then Obi-Wan dispatches her. So that's kind of.
Yeah. I think that's probably the most realistic, because my thing ain't gonna happen, but I want it to happen. Cool. So yeah, so we'll come back next week and we'll talk episode 5. There's only 2 more episodes left. That's it, man.
I know.
That's it. So fast. There are rumors of a second season, so we'll see how it ends, and do we want a second season? But as of right now, I want a second season, but it kind of depends on how episode 6 kind of finishes. We'll see.
Yeah,
you guys see that little comic thing on Tatooine? It was like, in 21 years, Obi-Wan. Look how Obi-Wan goes from this and show into how he looks in the first movie in episode 4. It's like, that son of Tatooine should be a crazy thing. I mean, it just baked him to a point where he aged 50 years. This is crazy.
Well, it is a desert planet with more than one sun. So.
Yeah. The suns are killing him.
Like, he aged like old bread and left it out in the sun. So I don't know. Just
he fell asleep outside.
Oh no, I lost 30 years.
But yeah, cool. So that's our thoughts and everything on episode 4 of Kenobi. 2 more episodes left. We're gonna come back next week, talk about episode 5. See where that takes us, because 2 episodes left, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen, or we hope that happens. So we're super excited. So if you're watching on replay, leave a comment. Let us know how you liked episode 5, where you want to, or episode 4, where you want episode 5 to go. Let us know. And if you're liking the series or not. So leave a comment and let's chit chat about that a little bit. But if you're watching live, hang out. We're gonna talk about another show. But that is it for us today with Kenobi episode 4. Anything else real quick, guys?
I think that was all my thoughts on it.
Yeah, cool.
Good.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next show. we'll see all the replay guys later. All right. Fuck, I brain fart. What are we doing?
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel. Shit. Cool. All right. So now we're gonna talk about Miss Marvel with spoilers, everything. I think spoilers are that like big. But if you haven't watched it, go check it out. Come back here and let's talk about it a little bit in the comments. If you're live, let us know what you thought. If anybody's hanging out with us in the chat still, I know we had a couple people.
I'll shoot again.
Getting
There we go. You're
I'm not the only one. Okay, all right.
No, my app is acting funny. It keeps like refreshing for some reason. It's really annoying.
My volume was going in and out.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So this show, Miss Marvel, is right off the bat before the episode even came out. It was getting a lot of hate. So what were you guys' initial thoughts of the show? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were the leaks or other people talking crap about it affect your thoughts on it? So, good. Yeah. Good.
Oh, did I get ahead of myself again?
No. I was gonna pass it down and over around. So.
Oh, okay. Well, when they announced it, I was behind the idea just because I love the MCU, so I'm gonna give anything MCU related a shot, no matter what. And it's so unfortunate that these people are like slamming it or review bombing it and stuff like that, and then have the audacity to call themselves fans. Whether it be because the character is they slam it for being Marvel's going woke, or it's like which seems, the word woke seems to be thrown around so much that I'm starting to think it just translates to it's not a white guy.
That's exactly.
Yeah. So imagine how these guys are going to react. Imagine how these guys are going to react when the X-Men reboot comes out. But but no. I thought and I was never really like a huge Miss Marvel reader. I think I consider myself knowing like just enough about the character. But I really I loved this first episode. I loved it. I loved the energy it had. It was very there were parts that reminded me, especially with like the hand-drawn animatics that would pop up, kind of reminded me of Into the Spider-Verse. There were even elements that kind of reminded me of John Hughes films like 16 Candles and that sort of thing. The overall vibe of the show, like I loved the character of Kamala Khan. I thought what's the actor Iman Vellani, I think is her name.
Yeah, like Iman.
Oh, she was great. I love her energy, and I think she really captures Kamala. And like I said, I'm only going off of like the Avengers video game, and what couple issues of Miss Marvel that I flipped through. So, and I like that they came out with it now, and they're really going into like the Avengers and heroes fandom within the MCU. Mm-hmm. I think this is a pretty good time for it. And we've never really seen like a whole lot of that, save for maybe like the scene at the end of the first Avengers, when they're interviewing people about them saving the world. So I like that they're delving into that. I know that they did kind of change up her powers a little bit from the comic, but I think I'm gonna see how that plays out, because in the comics, if I remember correctly, her powers came from the Inhuman gene. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the Terrigenesis, I think, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Terrigenesis.
But I like the conflict between Kamala and her family. I like how they're not like necessarily villainizing her family. They just believe in tradition, which is cool. It's not like they're like bad people. Even her friend Bruno's like, your mom's not Darth Vader. That's a line that stuck out for me. But I loved it. I loved the first episode. I loved the vibe. It really hooked me in dare I say, from the opening scene, once the Marvel logo cut to her, like drawing and making stuff for her YouTube channel. I thought it was, I was very happy with it. I actually watched it during breakfast this morning while I was getting ready to go to work, and was almost kind of late for work because I sat down and finished the last of it. But I liked it, and they did make a reference to one of my favorite restaurants or post drinking restaurants, Halal Guys.
Yeah,
and they called them out for their ridiculous overcharging for extra sauce, which is funny.
Yeah, it's funny. My girlfriend heard that and she's like, "Oh, they do that." I was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, that's funny.
It's kind of worth it though. The sauce is pretty bomb.
Yeah.
But those are my thoughts on it. I was really happy with it. It really left me wanting more. It really I like how I loved its energy and its vibe and how it jumped right into it.
Wow. Yeah. What about you, Mar?
I liked it. It wasn't bad. It was definitely again, I only know her through like playing, the MCU video games and stuff. And from what I know of all that, like what she brought into there, they really nailed it, I guess, in a way. She's quirky. She's like a nerd, like the rest of us that love comics and we love just everything about superheroes and stuff, and I love that about it. Like they had their Avenger Con thing that they were so looking forward to go to, which would be ultimately our Comic-Con or whatever, like different cons that we look forward to every year, and the cosplays and all that, and it was something that she wanted to do, and she even cosplayed herself as Captain Marvel, and I thought that was really cool. She was idolizing her superhero. But yeah, no, I thought the whole thing was just really cool. And she did a great job. Second to her was Bruno. He did a really good job too. Like, I love their planning scene on how to get there, which totally just went out the window. But I thought that whole thing was funny. We'll do this and that, and he's like, the only thing here is we'll just do one of these things that you said.
Get on the bus.
Yeah, get on the bus.
Get on the bus.
That was it. But no, it was really cool, and I like this that they're bringing this into it. It's different. I really didn't expect that this would be one of their characters that they would do, but it kind of like what Brandon said. I like that they're doing it now. Maybe we see all the younger characters like Miles Morales come in now that they're bringing the younger side of the Marvel. Maybe in the future, I don't know, but I mean, I thought that was kind of cool.
Sure. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. Like I said, I thought this was good timing for it, and even with this first episode, I'm really looking forward to seeing Kamala in the Marvels next year.
Yeah, that's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, really and in terms of what you were saying, Martin, being nerds, like us, I think that's one of the reasons it kind of, I think that's a reason I connected with it right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, that's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah, I mean, because in the comic, as far as I know, I think that she is a fan, and
she is. She's a huge Carol Danvers fangirl.
Yeah, and then I know. Yeah, I know Carol Danvers gave her, because Carol Danvers was Miss Marvel with the black with the S on it, and then she became Captain Marvel, and then she gave the title to Kamala. So now you have a Captain Marvel and a Miss Marvel, when before it was just the same person, different costumes. But they even kind of talked something about that. Was like was it like I don't say slutty, but like what the other girls are wearing kind of thing, and like it kind of like a throwback to to like the original Miss Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, because she was basically in a leotard, like every Marvel comic book character in the 90s, women characters at least.
Every woman,
everything was skin tight. half naked kind of thing. So I thought that was kind of like realistic, from coming from a parent, especially from like a traditional household, but also a throwback to the actual character itself of Miss Marvel, or Captain Marvel, however you want to call it. But yeah, I don't know. What about you, Brian? What are your initial thoughts on it?
It gave me Spider-Man Homecoming vibes. You guys remember that? Because it's the high school, it's the having the nerd, it's the not fitting in, and how you deal with that, and how that really creates who you are, and learning to be comfortable with who you are. I mean, I think that's everybody's journey, so that kind of relates to everyone. Even if you're cool in high school, you still have to be comfortable being who you are. So I think that's what everyone can take from that. I thought the relationships that with having your small core friends is another thing that helps everyone relate. Because high school gets big when you go from grammar school to high school. So really focus on your few friends. And I love that. I love that focused on her family, and her neighborhood, and how it is, how they know everybody, and her having to have a formal dress, and her mother, how she thinks of her mother. That's so. Yeah. Right now, Kamala and her mother are having problems, but obviously Kamala's mother and her mother have problems because she doesn't know. She's crazy, and that's that dynamic is something you see all the time. So I felt this whole first episode was very relatable.
Yeah.
I think that's important for an origin story, that you can relate to the character and start to care about that character. And I think they've done a good job with this first episode, really trying to flesh that out. The powers just kind of were they didn't really tell me what the powers really were. So I was like, it was just kind of just like thrown out there, but you don't really know what the hell's going on. And then when you look back at the YouTube or whoever was filming it, I still had no idea what the hell was going on. I still don't know where any powers are. It didn't make any sense.
She's like Elastic, right? Or something. She's like Elastigirl, kind of in a way, right?
Isn't she? Comic.
From what I know, in the comic, right?
Yeah, but I think she's able
to
the force of something like that. A force that's able to do these things, but
mimic that though.
Yeah, but it's very undetermined, undefined, and I think they need, especially with the origin story, you really need to define what is going on. But I mean, you could wait. You can leave it for episode 2, but they had to do that early on because you got to catch people early. And I don't know if they did that. But besides that, it was a 50-minute show, and it felt like it was 30 minutes. So, I mean, that means the timing is pretty good. That means things were happening. Nothing was dragging too much. I understood the father, understood the mother. You see the father's trying to be that blocker for her daughter, but he also still wants to make sure his daughter is safe. So that's why they're making these rules. Everyone, I think you can understand where the parents are coming from, as long as you understand where Kamala's coming from. And the brother, that's another good element to it. I just felt like they just did a very good job of describing a family, what the baby is growing up and how they get treated. And, all elements they've done a good job of describing. Now I just hope that they get the superhero part right.
Same.
Yeah. And, I think they will. I mean, as far as I know, from what people have already been saying, it's kind of like Green Lantern more-esque, where they wear something and they can make things with their mind, kind of, like obviously like Green Lantern. Yeah. But it looks like they're gonna tie it into cosmic stuff. Is it gonna be powered by one of the Infinity Stones, kind of like how Captain Marvel was, or stuff like that? I feel like they can really kind of explore it a lot. There's rumors that it's part of something else. I guess like these bracelets were in the comic book or something else. So I wonder if they're just gonna like merge a couple stories into one, like kind of good one. But I don't mind it. I mean, people losing their mind for it. I thought it was good. She the main character, the girl who played Kamala, she was adorable. I loved her. I thought she did it so well because, like, one, she is a nerd for the Marvel in real life, and she has to play a nerd for the superheroes in the show. So it's like you can tell, like, it kind of like she's able to cross that over, like, which should be fairly easy. But I just thought she was like everything with her, like her being so like starstruck, about those heroes, and then the whole family aspect of it. It was like, this seems real. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like not. I mean, until the end when she gets the powers, I'm like, that could be a real story in real life. You know what I mean? Like up until she gets the powers, but. I think the power's gonna be kind of cool because when she first gets it and she like falls back and she sees stuff, like I rewound it and paused it and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, because I rewound that a couple times myself and I was trying to get couldn't get a handle on what exactly it was, but I'm sure that's something that will be explained. Like Brian said, hopefully sooner rather than later. Hopefully in this next in the follow up episode next Wednesday. So we'll see.
Yeah. So I'm excited. After like reading about all the things about it, hearing everyone talk about it and saying like, oh, it's not made for me. It's made for a preteen and blah blah blah.
I don't think this is very much like Hawkeye. It's very much like Hawkeye.
I think
Kate Bishop is the same. It's the same. It's because Captain Marvel is better than Hawkeye. I mean, that's the best way. Are you really saying the whole Hawkeye series was good? It was fine. Hawkeye's just not that interesting of a character. Captain Marvel's a much interesting character. And the whole Kate Bishop was fine. She was funny. She was entertaining too. I just think this girl is more relatable for us right now because this is really her featured role. So we don't see her and see as something else. We see her as just this role, which I think that helps a lot too.
Yeah, one of the unfortunate things with fans or people who unfortunately call themselves fans at times, we've lost all concept of patience. And people, they're so quick. Unfortunately, sometimes we're so quick to write something off before we even give it a chance. And that goes for the guys who are like, "Oh, this isn't for me. Oh, this isn't for me."
You haven't watched it yet.
No, you haven't watched it yet. You.
But all that will change. All that will change. Why? Because I have a feeling at some point or some part, maybe, and I don't know, maybe you already know this, but is Brie Larson going to appear at least sometime during this series?
I'm counting on it.
I'm convinced that she
I
might,
hope so.
and she probably will. But I think that's when everyone will flip the script. Oh, this is a great show. Yeah, well, bro, come on.
I think not only that, I also think that they're going to make this important in the MCU. Like, you have to see this to understand some of the movies that are going to happen. So, I think if you do that, you make people actually watch it and then form their own opinion instead of just reading someone else say something. And when you do something like that and it's a good show, only positive things happen.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I thought this was such the way it starts with the drawings. I love that animation. The animation was, and then it stuck it through the entire episode on the walls when they're texting each other. I thought that was
that was
brilliant.
So cool.
That was good.
The neon signs,
windows and all that. Yeah, I like that.
I was like, how are people saying like, oh, this is more for a preteen girl? I was like, it's so fun to watch. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was expecting more of like a Gossip Girl kind of stupid like kind of thing. If you into Gossip Girl, but I was expecting like a CW preteen show. Like a Riverdale or something like that. I mean, if it's your thing, it's your thing. I didn't care for it. But
you got a problem with Archie?
But that's what I was expecting. Yeah. But that's what I was expecting, and this wasn't. It was just a fun show, and I think it can pull in younger like girls who obviously Marvel is lacking that audience, because like little boys from 5 to 40 love Marvel, and obviously the girlfriends and wives are gonna go, but little girls, they're like whatever. I think this is gonna be able to pull them in, which is obviously the goal of it, but it doesn't mean it's not gonna be a good show. Like
exactly.
I think it was really, really, really good that people I know Brian brought it up, but the whole generational trauma Like Disney's hitting that shit like super hard. Panda, was it the panda? Red Panda?
The Red Panda. Red Panda.
Yeah, Turning Red.
Turning Red. Yeah. Turning Red. Yeah.
You know, they did that with the movie that came out before that too, Encanto. You know, it's like, and now they're doing it again with this, you know, but in live action. It's like, generational trauma from parents, and they keep telling her like, oh, you're too short, you know, and like she's like, oh, it's good, you know, even like the part where she says like, oh, did you hear about blah blah blah? She went traveling around Europe. Like, who does she think she is? And then and Kamala was like, good for her, you know, and that's such a funny thing because that's such like
shut up.
Yeah, like, you don't know what you're talking about. She needs a husband, you know, like very generational kind of trauma kind of stuff that you would get like that. So I thought that was super relatable, especially for like a little kid, you know, like maybe like, you know, 8 to 12, you know, kind of kid can definitely relate to that. So I think it's gonna pull in more audience, which is good, you know, like. These fanboys are like, oh no, you know, I don't want these people or this kind of group in the Marvel, you know, audience. It was like, the more people that like the show, the more better, the more broader, the bigger we can make the actual universe, you know. So
the very diversity that they're so against or so opposed to is something that the Marvel universe and a lot of different universes in general contain and advocate and enforce. So if as far as I'm concerned, if you have that big a problem with that, you don't get to call yourself a fan. That's how I feel.
You're a person trying to complain about something, you know, which in today's world isn't too hard to do. There's a lot of stuff you can complain about, you know. So I don't know. So we'll get a little time before Brian comes back. But anywhere you want to, I know you're already we're all kind of hitting on it, but where do you want to see this kind of go? You know, I know no one knows much, none of us do, but where do you guys want to see it go from here? Start with Brandon.
I think that I'm kind of torn between whether Kamala will use her powers to kind of, you know, like maybe like kind of build up her reputation at school, you know, be a kid, you know, as far as her powers go. Obviously, she's going to use it to, you know, be like the very heroes that she idolizes. So that's coming really, really soon. I am curious to see a little more about that agency that popped up with the Stinger that wants to bring her in. I'm really curious as to who and what they are, because it's very obvious that they aren't SHIELD and they aren't. I don't even think they're SWORD.
They showed up in the last Spider-Man movie. The same guy. He was the guy interrogating Tom Holland.
Wait, holy crap! Yeah. I forgot all about that.
Yes,
that sure was him. That sure was.
I don't remember who they were.
Yeah, I forgot who they were. My bad. I completely forgot about that. Holy crap! Yeah. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. So yeah. But yeah, I think she's gonna lean like full on into that, to the part where, you know, she's not going to be listening to a word that her mother says. You know, she said she wants to be cosmic at the end of the episode. That was her final line. So she's gonna lean way into that, which I'm interested to see. And you know, I'm sure Bruno's essentially going to be her like, you know, her Ned, her man in the chair,
guy in the chair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think the next episode is gonna be her, you know, kind of, you know, making her costume and like maybe like stopping petty crime in New Jersey and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool. What about you, Martin? Where you wanted to go?
I see it differently. I see she's gonna be a little bit mischievous at first, but feel guilty about it all. And I think Bruno and her are going to probably end up having a small argument of the way she's working it, or she's going to be in a situation where she has to do something bad. Because I think it's going to come out. People are going to find out eventually, somehow, some way. she's going to be in a predicament, and probably balance between Bruno, her parents, and her own choices on how it's going to reflect on what she's going to have to do. And I think she's at some point, this is all going to turn into there's going to be a turning point. I want to see where it goes. I want to see how they're going to develop this. Maybe the agency has a lot to do with it. Maybe she has to make a choice between those four: herself, Bruno, her family, or the agency. Like, something's got to give, because this is all new to her, and she idolizes Captain Marvel, and I want to see how this will intertwine with bringing Brie Larson if she makes an appearance. Like, overall, if they bring in Brie Larson into this series, at least the last episode, that'd be great. But then again, I don't know if that's a possibility. I don't. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of conflict decision making in the last couple episodes while she's discovering herself.
Yeah, I mean, Brie Larson could stop filming Nissan commercials for
yeah. You can skip the next 5 or whatever.
Yeah. But okay, cool. What about you, Brian?
I think they're going to follow the Spider-Man scheme, the blueprint. They're going to do straight Spider-Man all the way. Like, and it's a winning formula, and you have a kid who is charismatic and people tend to like, and it brings in all your fanboys. And Bruno is just Ned plus whoever the love interest is in one person. So literally, you can still follow the exact same thing and still, as you said, stopping petty crime, trying to figure out the powers, and even how Shazam did, figuring these things out, figuring out how much I'm going to do for me, how much I'm going to do for the city, and it's just going to be a good series, just like that. I see Spider-Man all the way.
Yeah, dude, that was exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking like also the Turning Red, which makes sense because Disney just came out and it already kind of has a lot of the same vibes with the family I'm getting. But same thing, she gets his power and then she kind of is a little selfish with it, hurts somebody, and then stuff like that. But obviously I think it's gonna go more Spider-Man, where she's gonna do stuff and then somebody's gonna get hurt and then she's gonna realize, she goes, oh, I have a responsibility.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Spider-Man.
So yeah. So I'm more interested on how the family, mainly the mom, is going to react to her having the powers, because she's already calling her rebellious and she's not a good kid, even though she's a great kid and this and that. But it's like, you're not doing exactly what I say, so therefore you're a bad kid.
I think the brother finds out first.
I can see that. I guess she's going to be the last one. Yeah, for sure. The mom's going to be the last one, and I think she's going to be even more upset at that. Which said, it was really good at deflecting questions about spoilers. Brie Larson. Oh, was she? Yeah. I know there's a picture out where Brie Larson and her are like on Zoom or something.
Oh, really?
That came out, but I mean that doesn't necessarily.
She's all over the place though. She has like a poster in the back, and it's clearly Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. Like she is there. So it's interesting that, but like what she's saying, deflecting the questions about it. Like, yeah, they're not bringing it up or anything, but they're throwing things out
Easter
there about
eggs
her
everywhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the very first scene was in a room, and you can see her, during her Captain Marvel pose, and it's clearly Brie Larson. Like, it's clear as day. Nobody else.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I also like how they have some of the drawings are from like the comic book, like straight from the comic book, Carol Danvers, which is kind of cool too. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Brie Larson does show up. I think that would be the best way to go, but it probably won't be until the very, very end. It would be a setup for the movie.
Exactly. The bank for the Marvels. Yeah.
Break the bank for that.
So real quick, one last question. What if it's not Brie Larson, but Monica Rambeau?
That'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. That would be interesting as well. I think, just considering the huge, the huge fangirl for Danvers that Kamala is, obviously you'd think, obviously you'd assume that Danvers herself will show up. But if it's Monica Rambeau, I'd be fine with that as well. Or hell, both would be cool.
What if it was Monica Rambeau early? Like she's in charge of that committee, that group that's following these kids, and she's the one in charge. And she's like, going to be like episode 3. We see her, and now she's just like, well, I know Carol Danvers. I'm going to tell you some things about her that she was growing up. She was my aunt, like when growing up, all this stuff. So can share personal information, without having to bring Brie Larson in right now.
That would work.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, I was more thinking like right at the end, she's looking up at the sky, and there's this shiny, flashy silhouette of a woman coming down, and who else can it be but Brie Larson? And it gets closer, and it winds up being Rambeau. Like they're like, hold on, you're not. And she goes, oh no, I got some stuff to tell you about blah blah blah. And I can see how that ends, and like then that leads into the Marvels. Because
hey, we need your help. Let's go.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what the Marvels is gonna be about, except for it's gonna have those 3 in there.
Oh yeah, they've been keeping a lid on what exactly it's about.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything.
Good.
Yeah, which makes me all the more excited for it. And Nia DaCosta's directing it, who did the newest Candyman. So I think that's going to be interesting.
Hey, that's one. That's one.
Oh, we did have that discussion a couple weeks ago. Oops.
Oh, that's 2.
All right. Oh man. But cool. Luckily, we only got. Well, I don't know if you way you look at it. We only got 1 episode rather than bunch of episodes like how other things are doing. So next week we're gonna talk about not Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel episode 2. I don't know how many episodes this one's even gonna have. Is it like another 9?
I think it's somewhere between 6 and 8. I think
6.
6.
Another 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
6.
Yep.
July
13th.
You don't want to fight with Love and Thunder that much.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So 6 episodes. We already got 1 down, 5 to go. So yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about all of those as they come out every Wednesday.
For sure.
Well, cool, man. Anything else? Appreciate Sandy coming in with the question. Thank you. But anything else
good.
before we move on?
It's going to be a very good series if people give it a chance.
Yeah,
exactly.
And as obviously I'm not trying to tell people what to do, but you think as fans, you'd be a little open-minded and at least not knock it until you give it a shot. But
I say as humans, be open-minded.
Yeah.
Don't knock it until you give it a shot.
just as decent humans, period. Everyone's so quick to kind of just leap to conclusion. Oh, this isn't for me. Oh, blah blah blah. But you in the end, you do you though. I'll be watching.
Yeah, I'm watching. And I heard a lot of people. They're like, oh, because a lot of people got early screeners of episode 1 and episode 2, and they're like, I'm really not that excited about it. I was like, I was super like hyped at the end of episode 1. I was like, I want more. Like, I'm ready.
I was like, just dump the
nice
last few episodes on there.
I know. We're like, no, we're not Netflix. So, yeah. Anything, Martin, before we get out of here? Any last words? All right.
We lost him.
Can't hear you, buddy.
My bad. I had my mic muted. No, I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So thanks for everyone watching. If you're live, stick around. We're gonna do another show. If you're watching on replay, appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let us know what you guys thought about episode 1 of Miss Marvel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Come back every Monday and Wednesday for our live review so you can be part of the show. And we appreciate everyone. We're at 230 something subscribers, so that's awesome. I still blows my mind. Yeah, that blows my mind. So I appreciate everyone hanging out, coming in, and chatting with us. And if it's not your thing, let us know. Why you don't like this episode. What's the reason? If you don't care about it, you just don't like the character or whatever, let us know in the comments and let's chat about it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
But that is it. If you're watching live, stick around, and all the replay people, appreciate y'all.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Oh, you already took off. I was gonna say all right, Mark. All right. So that one didn't go too far over. The first one went over a good 15 minutes, but
that's what I was like. This one we're getting done.
We also got sidetracked by the prequels. You always get sidetracked by the prequels on.
No, I blame Derpy. I blame Derpy. His intelligent questions, stupid intelligent questions.
Yeah, but I mean, Star Wars is so
it's divisive.
Divided.
It is.
Yeah,
it's
so divisive. I mean, I think Brandon says the wokeness kind of thing. I was like, do you even know all the stuff that was woke in the original ones? Because there was a lot of messages George Lucas put out there, about wars and fascism and everything. It's
all about fascism and Nazis.
Exactly.
Yeah. And, but there was whatever war was going on at the time.
Yeah, and you have to wonder if people would have pissed and moaned the way they're pissing and moaning now. But the only difference between now and back then is they didn't have the internet.
Well, if you watch Stranger Things, maybe they did.
True.
Boilers? The heck? Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, now I gotta watch it before I start getting spoiled. No.
Yep.
Watch that. Watch that.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into The Boys in a second. I gotta run use the washroom real quick before we get into this one because we're gonna do all 3 episodes of The Boys. We won't break down episode by episode. I figured we'll just do all
the
3
same exact way we've been doing
conversation.
This. Yep.
Damn, I got some stuff to say about The Boys. Oh man.
Oh, trust.
I'm sure.
Trust.
Yeah, you guys too. All right. All right. Give me a few minutes, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay.
So now that he's not here, let's talk about this Stranger Things thing.
Yeah. Oh man, I loved it. It was like Nightmare on Elm Street meets Hellraiser.
It is
this season.
And they developed the character so well. I love number one. I knew who he was. I don't want even when watching. I knew exactly who he was. I knew exactly what happened with Elle. I knew she didn't do all this stuff. I think episode 6 is when I figured it all out. It all came together for me. I was like, I know what's going on.
The reason I knew who it was is when I saw the actor's name, Jamie Campbell Bower, because that dude stays playing a creep. He stays playing a creep. I'm sure he's a fine guy in real life. I'm sure he's a very great guy in real life. But man, if that's his actor trademark is playing a creeper.
You know what? And his eyes are very similar to Vecna. So I thought that was kind of a giveaway too.
Yeah. It was great, man. I especially like this season. Like I said, I'm almost inclined to say that it was my favorite of the seasons, which I've never ever said for like a 4th season.
Season 1 is still number 1. Season 1 is still number 1, but season 4 is coming up behind it, and if they do part 2 right, woo! I see.
And
coming back, so I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, what I will say is part 2 seems like it's going to be like a like a full-length feature, like 2 full-length feature films, because
they said that they're going to have 2 of those episodes are going to be 2 hours long.
Yeah, they're going to be long. So like when I first heard it's going to be only 2 episodes, I'm like, oh, that sucks. But they must going to be long. They're probably going to end up being long, and then they release the runtimes. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That way it won't really wear out. Yeah, and it won't wear out its welcome. It won't, So.
and we'll all watch it in 5 hours.
Oh yeah. That's going to be the What date is July 1st? Is that what day of the week is that? Let me check. Hang on.
I'm guessing Thursday or Friday.
Friday.
Oh yeah. If
it's the 4th of July weekend.
It's on Friday.
The 4th of July weekend. By the time 4th of July comes up, everyone will watch it.
Yeah,
everybody will know.
That's going to be my afternoon after work that day. And if anyone hits me up to do anything, I'm either going to say no or not until I finish this.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, we're done talking about that. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's do the boys.
It's the boys. All right. All right. Welcome back to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Think Kramer with Brian and Brandon. And we are talking The Boys, episode 1, 2, and 3 of season 3. So, oh boy. So if you're joining us live, we would love to hear your thoughts live. If you're watching on replay, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. We love to hear what you guys think about the episodes and movies that we are talking about. But yeah, let's just get into initial thoughts, feelings. Vomits. Oh my God, man. Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
I don't even know where to begin, dude. So one thing that I will say, holy crap. One thing that I will say about The Boys is, I'm used to it hitting the ground running, like right out the gate, right out the woodwork. Every season, it's hit the ground running. There's always been something shocking that's happened. The something very, very
every
very
5 minutes.
Shock value. Every 5 minutes, something.
Yeah,
but I didn't expect them to go like Usain Bolt on crack. I think that's the most apt way that I can describe, where how they hit it hard right out the woodwork with this season. That shit was crazy, dude. But yeah, and I like that. I very much like where the where we see the characters, like the core characters, like Huey and Billy and Mother's Milk, Frenchie. I like where we see them and how they all kind of come back together. The losing battle that Huey kind of finds himself in that draws him back into the fold. So there were it felt very organic in that regard. And then Homelander, just holy shit. How he's just coming apart more and more at the seams with each episode, and now we see him kind of lose a level of power to gain a level of power. And Anthony Starr is just so great in the role, so much so that even though I know it's a fictional character he plays, I'd probably be a little creeped out to be in the same room as him, and I probably do whatever I could to stay on his good side or be cool with him. But I really liked that, and I'm still as invested as ever in the characters, especially Starlight in particular. I kind of found myself, empathizing with her in particular, considering how much of the ringer that she's going through and probably will go through during the duration of this season. And I liked some of the backstory with characters like Black Noir. They kind of changed up his comic backstory, which I think kind of works. I'm really finding this show one of the occasions where the adaptations a lot. I'm liking it a lot more than the source material that it's based on.
Yeah. I haven't read too much of it, but I heard that from a lot of people that it's kind of becoming its own thing, and it's becoming almost better.
Yeah, and I kind of like that I don't know if you could call it like a dichotomy or symbiotic relationship between Homelander and Billy Butcher.
Yep, Butcher.
Yeah, it's weird how there's like a mutual level of respect, and Homelander, just kind of based on their conversation in Butcher's apartment. I think like to Homelander, like Butcher's the closest thing he has to a friend.
And a nemesis. And a nemesis. He's like his Lex Luthor to him. That's what it seemed like to me.
Totally. Yeah.
Like they need each other to survive almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Batman, Joker, Superman, Lex Luthor.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it reminds me of that line in The Dark Knight. I think you and I are destined to just do this forever.
Yeah.
Or you go ahead and take this. I've been taking the second time every single time, so go ahead and take. You go this time.
No, it's all good. No, oh man, yeah. It's season 3 starts off like you said, like just hits the ground and it goes like lightning speed. Man, I mean,
freaking termite.
I even wrote down notes and I don't even have it because it was just like so much. Because I just in the first couple episodes, Butcher, you see a different version of Butcher. Huey's finally kind of got things going well for him.
Yeah.
And then it all just kind of like goes to shit. I mean, and I think people like they're like, oh, it's such a great show because of all like the explosions and exploding parts and this and that. I'm like, this I so far. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of that still, but it's also like the characters are just so well developed. You know what I mean? That like you want the bad guy to get punched more and more and more. Like every time Homelander says, who can stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? I was like, damn it, Butcher, stop him. I was like, you gotta do it, It's like, but then Butcher's being a jackass and you're like, oh, somebody needs to punch him too, so it's just a really like interesting like vibe with it all. And I really, really like Homelander this season because he's not just before he's like obviously literally untouchable. He could do whatever he wants because no one can stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Stan Edgar, who has no powers and just an old man. And I was like, that's awesome. But now Homelander is even more scarier in this season for me is because he knows how he's playing the game. So he's just not like this strong guy bashing the wall and stuff like this. I was like, he knows how the game works and he's playing it. And that makes him even more scarier than just being untouchable. It's like, oh shit, he knows what to say and do to get what he wants besides just, killing somebody, which it just makes it even more scary. But I just like, he's picking on A-Train the entire time, calling him a little fatty, which is just, I'm like, what? He was like poking him. He's like, oh, I see your girl, you fat ass. So it's like, Jesus, it's really interesting. Mother's Milk, we finally got his name, Marvin. And got a little bit more of his backstory. Frenchie is getting a lot of time. The Deep is still in it for some reason. I don't know about you guys, but I never felt sad for an octopus. That sad for an octopus as much as I did in episode 3.
Yeah,
it was just like
he's praying.
I have kids.
Yeah. Oh man, it was like a little hard to watch because like it was like I don't know, like he was saying it for him, which made it even worse almost in a sense because he's the one that's gonna do it. It was just like, damn, and yeah, but I want more Soldier Boy. I want more Jensen Ackles, I want more Dean being an asshole. Like that's what I want. Give it.
Man.
But yeah, I so far I'm loving this season. I don't know how they were able to top themselves from season 1 and then season 2 and now season 3 off to a great start. I really, really love it. So,
yeah.
What about you, Brian?
Yeah.
This season, I feel like was all about relationships and how everyone's intertwined. And what they're doing is they're creating this web of relationships. No matter if it's Victoria and Stan, Victoria and Huey, Homelander Stormfront, Starlight Huey, Homelander and Butcher, Mother's Milk and his wife. I mean, just Mother's Milk and Butcher. I mean, it's just creating all these Frenchie. I mean, they're all connected, and I think what's going to happen is you're going to pull at one string, and it's all going to come apart, and that's what we're going to see. But first, what they're doing is they're creating this tapestry of how everything is woven into each other. You can't just kill one. You can't just kill Homelander because it's going to be a domino effect, especially when they bring Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy in. That's going to change all the dynamics, and it's going to basically take the tapestry and burn it to shreds. And the Seven won't be in power anymore. Can you imagine that? The Seven no longer being the ones in power. I mean, I just think that they've done such a good job of developing all these relationships everywhere, and how close they are to almost always falling apart, but how they're needed for each other. You know, so that's why when you guys were talking about the Homelander Butcher thing, I thought that was incredible because Butcher gets to see Homelander's son anytime he wants. You know, and he's had that relationship, and then Homelander doesn't know that, but he knows that he knows where his son is, and so that they have that dynamic. That they also have the wife dynamic, and then they also have the superhero dynamic, and it's all interwoven. And you know, I'm just using that one relationship and how it really goes. I mean, can Butcher kill Homelander and tell the boy, "I killed your father"? Like, how will he react to that? Because you don't know what he's going to turn into. And is Butcher the right person to be around that little kid? Because Butcher is going to enrage everybody. You know, just that's what he does.
Yeah, but Butcher is like the ultimate anti-hero, and he'll go off the rails unless somebody's there to reel him in. You know, so you know, the boys coming back together, Huey, Mother's Milk, Frenchie. What's
even Kimiko?
Kimiko. Yeah. So then them all being together is probably the best thing for the sake of Butcher and you know, kind of keeping him from going completely over the edge. You saw what he did to Gunpowder when nobody else was around.
Exactly. Yeah. Or he did to Termite.
That was awesome. Well, it's also what he didn't do to Termite. Like, he didn't kill him.
Yeah,
which was very un-Butcher-ish. Yeah. You know. But then he doubles down on the next one.
And then so now, how can Butcher be with the boys with them anyway? Now he has a taste of superpowers. How would Mother's Milk look at him?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
How can he follow him knowing that he did that? He had those superpowers, the same as Homelander. You know? I don't know how Soldier Boy is going to be introduced. How's that's going to deal with Mother's Milk? I mean, that's going to be huge. When he finds out he's alive,
yeah,
right.
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah, that's man. And I didn't even know about the whole with Mother's Milk with that. It's this weird.
Kill my family
now,
Marvin.
You know, like Marvin. It just took his whole family and he's got like sucked back in instantly, you know, with it, you know. But like you said, it's just a tapestry where it's just like everything is so tightly, you know, knitted together, and it's gonna be one thing, and then that's it, like that's it. But I'm so in for it, you know. I think Butcher with powers is gonna be super. Also, Ryan knew. He's like, you smell different. Your blood smells different. I was like, damn, he's got those powers.
Yep. I can smell. I feel your heart beating faster. I know all of it.
That I was like, damn. Yeah. So that was kind of. He knew right off the bat too. As soon as he got out of the car, he's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Oh, nothing. I'm good." He's like, I was like, damn. But I'm really curious to know about Ryan. Like, really curious, like what's gonna happen with him.
Does Butcher create another Homelander with his relationship? You know, if you have to depend on Butcher being your father, come on, you know you're doomed. Like,
he was doing good in the first episode, and then
about 15 minutes, and then that's all you got. Butcher something, huh?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'm looking at the cast right now. You know, his last name is Butcher too. So the little boy's last name is
because of the mother.
Butcher. Because the mother,
because her name.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. So I was like, damn, he's legit going to be the two guys that we said in a few minutes ago that like they're always going to be at odds. He's a combination of both. So it was like, shit, like, I really don't know what he's going to turn into, So that's going to be really interesting.
Did anyone catch the other guy from Supernatural, Jim Beaver, whatever? They named him Bobby. Robert Singer. Well, they named him Bobby. I was like, what? You named him Bobby? Really? I was sitting like looking like, did anyone else catch this? Bobby Singer is in the show with Jensen Ackles. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. Did he show up last season? I don't remember. I don't remember if he did or not. I think he did.
He's been in a couple times. Been in a couple times since 2019. So
the cameos really get obviously with Charlize Theron.
Oh yeah.
I think the cameo last season that really got me is when Chris Hansen from the Catch Up Predator showed up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, we also got Billy Zane. Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. Yeah. Billy Zane being Billy Zane.
Yeah.
In somewhere in the multiverse, he was Lex Luthor.
Oh, 100%. But yeah, man, it's just even I forgot Simon Pegg was Huey's dad.
Huey's dad.
He did that on the phone. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot.
He's back up from the phone, looking like Fredo, like right there.
Yeah. What'd you say?
So back up there.
Yeah.
What did you think about Stormfront? The whole Stormfront when she died. How Homelander did, man. So she bit her own tongue till she died because of Homelander.
$1 million baby at herself, like Ashley said.
Ooh, yeah.
That's her name, Ashley, the publicist, right?
Ashley. Yeah.
Well, on one hand, she was a Nazi, so
one hand.
Yeah, one hand, and I totally did, and I totally did intend that pun, by the way. It was kind of funny seeing the state that she was in. I got no love for Stormfront. She was pure evil.
Yeah,
I got no love for her. So to see her in the state that she was in was kind of satisfying.
Yeah, but Homelander just doesn't deserve to keep on going. Like, man, he's just and that's what I found really interesting about Homelander. The more terrible of a person he is, the more people accept him, and the more people are radicalizing around him, and that seems almost too realistic. It's just how you can radicalize yourself. You try to hide who you are. I want people to love me. And then instead, you radicalize yourself and realize people love you more. Mm-hmm. There are more people that want you to fall apart and do all these crazy things because they think these crazy things too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because they did the whole. There's a lot of real world shit going on, either funny or serious. Because there's the whole. They did the Snyder cut in the very beginning, with the release the 7, hashtag 7 cut or whatever they called it. But also they did like the Charlottesville kind of thing, but instead of calling it whatever they call them like the Storm Chasers, which I was like, so it's just like legit. They're taking so much of like real world, even like the reality show, the American Hero kind of thing. It was just The Bachelor, but with that. So
heroes, exactly.
Yeah. So that was like kind of like really kind of like crazy, just how they're tying real world stuff to this fake stuff, and it makes you kind of question things a little bit more.
Yeah.
But but one thing with Storm Chaser was as she's there, melted and barely breathing, she tells like Homelander, she goes, "Oh, no one suffers like how you suffer." I was like, as she's like, I was like, that's how crazy she she is, like, because she truly believes he's like. Well, that was another thing. That whole scene that kind of really sets up the whole Homelander for the season, I think, is because she's a Nazi, so she's like, "Oh, you're the perfect race," says that shit, and that pissed off Homelander. He goes, "No,
He's
fuck
like,
that.
No,
goes,
perfect Aryan race. I am perfect Aryan, perfect
and I'm
race.
like, oh man,
just me."
And that kind of like kind of throws it on its head. Is like, he's like, "No, fuck that." He goes, "Screw that, screw all this crazy stuff." He goes, "I'm perfect, me." It's like that's how crazy Homelander is,
and he's gotten so strong now that he no longer has anyone Starlight to hold him down. He's like, "Fuck it, I'll just do it. I'll just go crazy and kill everybody. I'll go Brightburn on everybody. Who cares? Whatever." But it's going to be such a mind fuck. I hate to say that, but when Soulja Boy comes in, when Soulja Boy is going to make him feel so small. Because it's finally someone who's strong enough to take him on.
Yep.
And more popular.
Probably more popular.
He's this legendary hero. Yeah. So that's gonna be super interesting.
Homelander's gonna completely lose his shit.
But he has to keep it together because what if the 7 lose their popularity? Because that's a rival company. That's a rival group, so they can lose their popularity. Stan's going to be all over them, man. Even though he doesn't want to deal with superheroes anymore, he still needs about 4 or 5 more years to turn to a pharmaceutical company because that's where the real power is.
Yeah,
so funny. I mean, but and then that relationship between Stan and Victoria, blew my mind. I was like, who's walking down the stairs? It's Stan. Damn.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Giancarlo Esposito is so freaking good in this series. It's just like, like the whole thing with in the theater, and he's like telling Homelander, blah, blah, blah. He goes, "But hey, it's your party. You can cry if you want to." I lost it. I was like, that's it, man. That's like the badass award because it was like everyone's afraid of Homelander except for this one man who has no powers except for being in charge of the company that gives out the powers. It's just
but no one knows he actually does have powers because Victoria could come in and when she blows up Homelander's head. She's it.
But his power is having powerful people around him.
Yeah,
his influence.
That scene, the dialogue between him and Homelander season 2 when he's talking about you're not our most valuable asset. That was a standout scene of season 2 for me. And Giancarlo Esposito just fucking brings it. Like he's so good in the role. Like he can say so much with just like his silent gaze or his silent stare. He doesn't even have to say a whole lot. It's in his mannerisms, his posture, like the way he looks at you. Like he's easily one of the standouts of the show for me. And it's very nuanced and almost kind of like an understated role, but like he just makes the most of it. He does so good. Like he's such a just an ultimate beast of an actor.
What do you think is going to happen with the Starlight and Homelander thing? How you think? I want to know what's going to happen with that. How is Huey going to react? How is Butcher going to react to this?
Huey's going to reap what he sows.
Yeah, he told her to stay. She's like, "I want to run." He's like, "That's what you get, bitch."
Like he told her to stay to buy them some time. That's going to come back in some way, shape, or form to bite him. So basically, whatever, because it's not going to turn out good, but whatever happens, Huey has it coming to him, to basically use her as a pawn, or
Yeah, but to ask her to stay, it's going to push her right into the arms of Supersonic. Just wait.
you know, like that's what I meant when I said she's being put through the ringer, and it was a nice way of the way they brought that episode 3 full circle with her kind of like clenching her fist behind her hands while having to kiss him. You know that, yeah, she's gonna either run into the arms of Supersonic, or she's just gonna be like screw this, I can't do this anymore. Something. But
she's too much of a main character, and Supersonic is there, and now the Deep is now part of 7 again. He has nowhere to go for any relief, and Huey can't be that person for her anymore because you know what he's done to her, keep her there in her worst nightmare. So the only person she can relate to and talk to is Supersonic.
Supersonic, you know. And I kind of felt like that from the second that he decided to stay to get her to have her back.
Yep. To do what Huey used to do and no longer is doing. He's now about well Butcher needs this, so
like
it's
the mission.
Yeah. Instead of,
I mean, I get why he's doing it because he's like, I need to kill Homelander to have her truly be free, but I mean, at the sacrifice of losing her. You know, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So do you? I think because this show is not meant for good guys to win. I think Supersonic made a deal with. No. I think he made a deal with Homelander.
Ooh.
You know, because he already saw how crazy Homelander was before Starlight told him. He goes, something's wrong with Homelander, because remember when you told him like the very sexual nasty thing, you know, because they used to be boyfriend girlfriend. So, and even Supersonic was like, what? I think he's like, hey, I need you, I'm gonna control her on the media, but I need you to control her off screen. And I think that's what's gonna happen. And then I think Homelander's like, oh, then you'll be safe, I'll make sure you're safe, you know.
And then she breaks up with Huey next episode, and then she's confiding into Supersonic, and then she finds out that he's been using her too, and she just feels like a piece of crap.
Yeah. I think, I know we're not into wild speculations, but I can see Supersonic doing something like that, because I mean this shows how shitty people with power, either superpowers or political power, how they all are. They're just shitty people. And I think that's going to show with Butcher. He's already kind of, 1 foot out the door with being a horrible person. But I think with him getting the powers, he's going to go full on out, like kind of thing. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he loses all of them though. I think Huey runs back to Starlight after Starlight goes to her thing, whatever. He runs back to her. I think Mother's Milk goes back home to his daughter, and it's just Butcher versus Homelander.
Yeah.
Versus Soldier Boy. I think Soldier Boy is going to play a big role in this.
I can see that. I can really see that. The only difference is Butcher's only got 2 more vials of the temporary stuff. So see how that works out.
You can always get some more.
I mean, can he? I mean, it's like what, $2 million a pop, and we haven't even seen what's her Maven? What was her name?
Yeah, Queen Maeve. Yeah,
like a half episode, if that, and that was it. We haven't seen her since.
But that's what I'm saying. That you can always go to her because obviously they have a relationship now too. Queen Maeve and Butcher. So he always say, "I need more to be able to fight this," and she gives him like, "I only give you 3 more. Sorry, that's all I can do."
Yeah.
So he has a little bit more.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm so like, even between the relationship between Huey and Butcher was like, Butcher was acting good because his Jiminy Cricket Huey was happy and telling him to play nice. Everything's gonna be fine. We're winning for once. But then as soon as Huey was like, "You're right. We have to do it your way."
It was so funny because he was on his way, but Butcher was ready to give up. He was ready to say, "All right, I'm done with this." And Huey just, because he's a little bit, he has too much bitch assness in him, He just allows that to take over just because he's like, oh, it's all about me. I'm soft. I'm the one doing this. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and fix the problem. Mm-hmm. Use the fact that you're asking Starlight to stay there in the 7. Why wouldn't you stay next to Victoria and keep eyes and keep in contact with her? It's such a one-way street with him, and that's why I don't think that he can be with Starlight long term. Because he's too much. It's only one-way street with him. He only sees the bad in everybody else and doesn't see the bad he's doing in himself.
Like it's always justified for him. Like it's always.
Oh, I had to do this because, so you need to do this because, but not, what's really going on.
Yeah, that's interesting. I can see that. But also, like you said, you brought up Huey, like being a little, punk baby, I don't want to say that, but yeah, he went from being like badass in some parts to being like a big,
soft in others.
Soft. Yeah. Where it was like he walked in and it was like, you need to break my arm. It was like, damn. Even all the other guys were looking at him like, okay. And then Frenchie's like, all right, here's some medicine to help with the pain. He's like, I can't. They're gonna drug test. I was like, damn. And I think he got some respect from all the guys because they're like, oh, he's grown up. Like he's big, but then he does stupid things. Yeah. Afraid his girlfriend's gonna like go back to her ex, kind of thing. It was like, dude, come on.
Like, dude, you have to trust her. There's nothing you can do about it. First of all, there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. So just live your life. Just enjoy your life, what you got. You can't stop her. She can kick your butt. Just deal with it.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's definitely changed a lot. But, one thing I didn't want to bring up was A-Train. What do you think is going on with his story? Because he's got a major character arc. He went from being an asshole druggie to, no,
he's still an asshole. He's still an asshole. Yeah, but he's he can't run. Also, that's the other thing. He can't run anymore. So if he runs, he could have a heart attack at any point in time. I think he does something to save somebody else unexpectedly. Try to be his redemption. Maybe even his nephew.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's his redemption arc.
Like as he dies.
Yeah. It can happen next episode, which opens up another spot in the 7, right? That could be filled by who? Soldier Boy. Instead of being on the opposite one, because the rest of this team is pretty much dead. They bring Soldier Boy back to the 7.
That'd be interesting. I don't know. I just want more Jensen Ackles. Like we haven't got anything new. Everything has been a flashback so far.
Yeah.
But yeah. How'd you guys like the whole flashback story? How'd you guys feel about that?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And of course that fly thing kept him going flying, giving up our position, and he tries to fly away again. Of course, they hit him with a missile.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I like that they took like a real life kind of thing with the whole the Contras and then the Russians and this and that, like Ollie North and all that stuff, and the whole I don't know what you want to call it, but like them pushing drugs in minority communities and stuff like that.
Everyone's heard about, and we've all talked about the crack in the 80s and how they put it in the minority in urban environments to destabilize them. And that's just, we all thought you heard it. And then the fact that she's like, yeah, this is exactly what the initiative was.
Yeah. It was like, sell the crack to the minorities and then use that money to fund the war. I was like, damn. I'm like, it makes so much sense. Like,
it's exactly what happened in the Reagan era.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I thought that was like, again, like taking real world stuff, but slapping on like these superhero dummies, in it. That was like really like interesting. What'd you guys think about you finally get to see Black Noir like without a mask and talking and stuff in one of the flashbacks.
Yep. I was
like I said, that
wasn't what I saw in the comics, but that was cool.
It was an interesting change of pace from the comics. But I'm fine with it. I'm happy with it.
What was in the comics? I haven't.
He was a clone of Homelander
Oh,
he was a clone of Homelander.
Yep.
Shit. Okay. That way he couldn't talk, or he just chose not to talk, or they like ripped out his tongue or something stupid.
Oh no, he could talk.
I thought that he didn't say anything. Yeah, he just
chose not to speak.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's interesting. Or they didn't go that route. Which could be changed too, because maybe there's been multiple versions of Black Noir. You know, maybe that's that version. You know, did that one die and they just replaced it with another? Because it's a dude in a helmet, so you can literally put anybody under there who you think.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like trying to trick you. Like, oh, you thought it was him, but now it really is the clone. I mean, they could do something like that.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could do, but I mean, you have to have someone as an adult that could go back into that suit again and have all the same skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, was he related to Stan Edgar, or like, because they were talking like they're like really good friends?
Yeah,
and I haven't seen many people talk to Stan like that.
Yeah, they were very chummy. Like, you know, I kind of even asked myself if they were related, if they were siblings. It kind of seemed it seemed a little vague to me, but yeah, I'm not sure. I had kind of gotten the vibe that they were related, or you know, in some way, shape.
That they're related, and that Black Noir even right now is just Stan's inside man, basically. That's all he is right now. And that's why he doesn't talk. He just listens and he relates everything back to Stan. That's why Stan knows what's going on, even in these secret meetings of the Seven. He knows exactly what's going on. So he always has his hands in everything.
Everything. It's Stan is a very interesting character. I know from the little bit that I know of the comic book, he was a very interesting character in the comic book as well. But here, Giancarlo, man, is just he is
so
killing
good.
it. He's so freaking good. So freaking good. He just plays like an evil bad guy so well, but like this style of evil bad guy,
very complex, and that's what is awesome about this whole. The whole show is complex.
Yeah. So it was definitely. I saw somebody else talking about it, and they brought up an article. I can't remember from where, but they were like, this show went from being a parody of like superheroes to becoming like its own thing that is probably more entertaining than some of the MCU right now. You know, just because you're able to get into territory that the MCU will never,
like
ever
get.
Yeah. It's you know, and the comic was for the most part, and the comics are good, but they were kind of like mostly for the element of shock value. And one reason that I think the show completely trumps the graphic novels is it decided to go for more complexity. It kind of took the high road rather than just shock value. Oh, look how many times we can use the F-bomb. You know, look how much graphic sex, look how much graphic blood. There's more to it than that, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. I know we've been going on for a little while. I don't know. Is there anything else that you guys really want to talk about with this one? Or something we miss?
Only thing I wanted to ask you, so where are we going next?
Oof.
Do you have any idea?
Yeah,
for me, I just think it's going to be a giant showdown between Butcher and Homelander.
Yeah, that's pretty much inevitable. You know, there's so much possibility and so many ways they can go, so many different directions this particular narrative with this season could go. I'm not even sure, man. I'm not even sure how I can answer that, or if I can answer that.
I think so. I think Homelander does go off the deep end, and I say Homelander leaves the Seven. So it's not just. So I think it's going to be the Seven against Homelander and Butcher. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's going to be like 3 different entities fighting in some like World War III, basically. with Soldier Boy leading the 7, I can see Starlight leaving the 7 and then fighting on Butcher's side with Huey and all that stuff again. Even though they're not be together anymore, but they'll still be the ones together, like doing it, fighting together.
Yeah.
So the people from Butcher's group, Homelander, and then the rest of the superheroes from the 7, all fighting each other.
I agree, especially about Starlight. There's only so much further she can be pushed at this point before she just finally decides she's had enough.
And I think Victoria joins Butcher one day.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that's really easy to or not easy, but she can easily see that Stan is using her.
Yep.
So I think she'll get out of the you don't really love me. You just love me
to
for
manipulate
my powers,
me,
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. I can see that. Yeah, it's gonna be Homelander versus the boys versus the 7, or versus Vought. I wouldn't even say the 7. I would say Vought at that point, because it's just gonna be all the Vought people. And Vought, man, Amazon's doing such a good job at making Vought kind of be a real thing in the world, in our world, in the real world, with all these stupid trailers and stuff. Also, the shameless plug in the very first episode when Butcher is shopping on Amazon, I think.
Oh man, that's awesome. Checkers. It's there as soon as I need it. Thanks, Amazon.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that. Waiting for that to show up. But cool. Yeah, we've been going on for a while. Over 2 hours. Well, cool. Yeah. So I mean, obviously this one's gonna be a big one because we had a lot of episodes and stuff to talk about, and we started a little bit later than usual, but it's all good. But cool. If you're watching on replay, appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let us know how you like The Boys season 3 so far. Friday the 10th, the new episode comes out. So next week Wednesday we're gonna talk about it.
It's so hard only give us one episode after you gave us 3. That's just so hard.
I know.
And we've gotten so spoiled by streaming services just dumping the entire season in one so we can binge watch it. In the case of this show, I really wish they'd just bring that back.
Just do it all at once. I know.
We still got Jurassic Park to watch this weekend, so I mean, hey.
Yeah. So make sure you guys subscribe and check out. We're gonna do Jurassic World Dominion on this upcoming Monday, and then next week we're doing Kenobi again, Miss Marvel, and another Boys, but one of each at least.
And we're gonna need a separate day just for Stranger Things. Tank.
Yeah, just
we're definitely gonna need that. We're definitely gonna need that.
We'll get that. We'll get that soon. We'll get that definitely before part 2 comes out. Definitely before part 2 comes out. But cool. Yeah, we appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Make sure you leave a comment. But let's get out of here, man. We appreciate everybody, and we'll see you guys next week. Later.
See you guys.
See you guys. All right.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.